I've seen wounds from this caliber many times, and they always just go through everything. This would have taken a moose or two down, an elk, etc. But it didn't go through. Charlie's body stopped it. I mentioned this to the doctor, that there were dozens of staff, students, and special guests standing directly behind Charlie on the other side of the tent.
A spokesperson for Turning Point USA later clarified that this was a private security guard working for one of the attendees.
Oh, they're talking about the security guard. Is it Adblock? Is that what it is? Is Adblock cooking me right now? Yo, we stay prayed up. You already know. I'm Christian now, so obviously, as you guys know, I'm Christian. Are we dead ass right now? Please look at this artwork. I already posted this on my Instagram page. Let me explain something to you, okay? If you laugh at this, you are going to prison. I cannot explain to you how quickly you will go to jail. We are not laughing at this, okay? We are not laughing at this at all. We're actually saying that's the best artwork I've ever seen in my life. It made me cry real tears. I crowed. You cried. We cried. We crowed. Okay? It made me crowed. Also, there's additional updates about Charlie Kirk's, which is insane. And I feel like it's probably one of the worst things that they could have actually revealed for all the guys. I assume that even people who didn't suspect some wrongdoing in this investigation, all the guys are now going to be like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. This has the workings of a false flag. That's right. Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA bestie came out and said one of the most insane things I've ever heard. Okay? So they claim that the sniper rifle used was a hunting rifle. It was like an old, what is it called? 30 on 6. I don't know these things. I don't know the terminology. It's like 30-6, but I don't know how to say it. Okay? But it's a big bullet. 30-06. Okay? 30-06. It's a big bullet. I know that it's a big bullet. I knew that at least. Okay? I know that. I know that it's a big bullet because from what I understand, it's used for mid to big game, right? It's supposed to just drop it. Like you could take out a moose with that shit. You go, it's a big boy. You go for like elk, moose. It's not for like you. Like if you shot like a squirrel with that, you would explode it. Okay. So because of that, a lot of people were like, either this is not the weapon that was used, or this is not the bullet that was used, because there would be an exit wound and that white tent would have turned into a red tent, right? Like there's no exit wound and therefore it's got to be a different gun, right? Or there's just something that's not quite right. It's a popular deer round gun and was used in the M1 Garand. So the thing is, yeah, it was a standard American rifle round during World War II, but they obviously went for smaller rounds once they started. They went for smaller rounds because they had machine guns afterwards. But it's just like it's got a lot of stopping power, and basically something just doesn't add up with what they were saying. And in an effort to, I guess, stop the confusion, considering that Candace Owens has been asking a lot of questions and like claiming that this is actually, claiming that this is Israel, all this stuff. People were trying to quiet down the discontent. Okay. Now, even as a not gun guy, I thought maybe the bullet somehow got just like penetrated his body and got stuck in there somewhere, just like blew up his bones or something, right? But they came out with a statement. They came out with a statement from his bestie, not his bestie, like Andrew Korvat or whatever. Does anyone have that actual Twitter link? Because he came out and made this release, okay? The way you explain this shit is so fucking funny. It's just because I'm not a gun guy. I'm not like the most aware of the gun stuff. But I follow a lot of gun guys. And for the record, gun guys are not even in any way, shape, or form taking this, okay? They are not. They saw this. Andrew Colvin comes out, okay? Christian, proud husband and father, TPUSA spokesman, comes out and says, I want to address some of the discussion about the lack of an exit wound with Charlie. I'm usually not interested in delving into most of this kind of online chatter, and I apologize. This is somewhat graphic, but in this case, the fact that there wasn't an exit wound is probably another miracle, and I want people to know. I just spoke with a surgeon who worked on Charlie in the hospital. He said the bullet absolutely should have gone through, which is very normal for a high-powered, high-velocity round. I've seen wounds from this caliber many times, and they always just go through everything. This would have taken a moose or two down, an elk, etc., but it didn't go through. Charlie's body stopped it. I mentioned this to the doctor that there were dozens of staff, students, and special guests standing directly behind Charlie on the other side of the tent. He replied, it was an absolute miracle that someone else didn't get killed. His bone was so healthy and the density was so impressive that he's like the man of steel. It should have just gone through and through. It likely would have killed those standing behind him too. In the end, just beneath the skin, even in death, Charlie managed to save the lives of those around him. Remarkable, miraculous. Okay. In the most charitable interpretation here, let's just say there is a little bit of embellishment, okay? Because the least charitable interpretation is all of this is a lie and it wasn't a 30-06 and it was a totally separate guy, and now you're looking at like a second shooter theory or whatever, right? That's the least charitable interpretation. The most charitable interpretation of this assessment is that he's just like greatly exaggerating. And I don't know. I just don't. I don't know what could have actually happened. But I will say, if it's a 30-06, it does. I guess the most charitable interpretation is that his body did stop the bullet somehow. Okay. And it didn't have an exit wound because it like snapped on his spine or something. But the fact that he also claims that it just barely scratched the surface, like it just only hit his neck, and they found it right underneath his skin, like just beneath his skin, that does not make sense. That just simply did not happen. And I'm not the only one who's not buying it. It seems Alex Jones is not buying it either. TPUSA is now reporting that Charlie Kirk was shot by a magic bullet. TPUSA spokesman Andrew Colvin is now officially claiming that a high-caliber rifle designed for moose hunting did not shoot all the way through Charlie Kirk's neck. Then it only gets worse. He then goes on to claim that no bullet was found inside of Charlie's neck. TPUSA, in the statement below, goes on to say that Charlie... Wait, I don't know why he says no bullet was found in his neck. He did say that. Does Alex Jones not know how to read? TPUSA, in the statement below, goes on to say that Charlie was Superman, and that's why the bullet didn't go through his neck and disappeared, claiming that the Easter Bunny is real, has more credibility. God help us. Oh my God, he was so angry to make a car video that he just forgot how to read.
Okay, I've been telling everybody, wait till we have evidence of an inside job or a cover-up. That's all I've been saying. We know Andy was out, people, Tranifil, all that's a real deal. But now, I can't believe this. The spokesperson for TPUSA just posted 2 hours ago.
Bro, whether he's driving 40 miles down the freeway or in a parking lot, you know he's going to keep swapping hands. I know that this is not relevant to the conversation, but I do think that he has a style guide in the way that he does these car videos, and he loves swapping hands.
That they talked to the coroner, and that Charlie Kirk was shot with a 30-06 in the left side of his neck, the carotid artery, and that he's a man of steel, and that the bones in his neck that are like chicken bones stopped a bullet that travels 2,500 feet a second out of the barrel at 200 yards, depending on the grain of the cartridge and the rest of it. Probably hit him at 1,900 feet per second. I've shot hogs at 500 yards, 30-06, right to the side. Tiny hole, blows a 4-inch hole out the other side. We're talking through 2 feet of a hog. Boom. Hit him in the head, brain completely blows out. They just said he got shot with a 30-06 and that it didn't go through, and it gets better. I'll post this on top of his tweet, that they didn't find a bullet. He says he talked to the coroner. This is a spokesperson.
They did, though. Like the tweet does say they found the bullet. They just found the bullet under the skin. Leave it up to Alex Jones to look at a situation where it's like perfectly ready for a conspiracy to fuck it up somehow still. My man is missed a step, dude. He is no longer the man he used to be. This is not the same Alex Jones that in the morning of 9/11 was like, Israel did this. I know Israel did this. I know it in my heart.
For TPUSA. So I don't jump on things till I have evidence.
Like, once again, also not true. Literally 9/11, the day it was happening, Alex Jones went on television and said, it was Israel. I know it was Israel. So the idea that he doesn't actually jump on loose threads is crazy. Bro, he did not say that. Come on. Wait, what? Dog, it's one of his most famous moments. What are you talking about? That's peak Alex Jones. What? Are you kidding me? That is one of Alex Jones's most famous moments, up there with like black attack helicopters and FEMA facilities. Obama smells like sulfur. You're talking to a A. Jones super fan though. Like they're turning the freaking frogs gay. That's another classic.
And I talked to the White House 2 days ago. High-level sources, they said, no, the cover-up's on. All the accomplices, the tranny for people, 6, 7 that were online the day before said he'll be dead tomorrow. They're not investigating it. They've been told lone gunman and shut it down. So I'm not eating crow here. I never said it could have not been a false flag or a setup. I just simply said, when I see evidence, I'll cover it. And I certainly couldn't, before his body was cold, say Israel did it with no evidence. Israel was definitely.
Bro, it is pretty wild that Mr. Every school shooting that takes place is a psyop so that the libtard Bilderberg group wokes can take away your guns, looked at a high-profile assassination of a friend and immediately didn't rush to those conclusions. Like, that's why I'm like so suspicious about these guys, like the Nick Fuentes of the world and the Alex Jones of the world, because like, when is it not Israel for these dudes? You know what I mean? Like for many of these guys, it's always the Jews for everything. So the one time it happens, you're like, oh, actually, this time it's not. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me at all. Like, I'm the guy who says, yeah, hold on, maybe it's not Israel. Not these guys. It just shocked me to my core, you know?
Definitely pissed off at him and does stuff like that, so maybe Israel did it. But I will not sit there until I have evidence. But now we have, this is retarded, people.
He's red for an amazing reason. Dan Henschel.
I mean, I shot a buffalo with a .308. That's weaker than a .30-06, but similar round. The bullet went through a bull buffalo. More reports coming on this, folks. We're being lied to. This is a cover-up.
Apparently, he also added a correction.
All right, about an hour ago, while I was literally driving, I saw reports that Andrew Colvett, the main official spokesperson for TV USA, who I met before, who's a great guy, the Liberty Movement for over a decade, had said that he talked to the coroner, and he's called me. I'm about to call him, so I'll give an update, and that Charlie was shot from the front and the left with .30-06, as we've been told, and that he was a man of steel, they said, and it bounced off the neck bones, and I misread the report saying that they didn't find the bullet. No, they said they found the bullet, which is even more insane. So I'm not demonizing TPUSA or Andrew or anybody. That's what they're being told by the coroner. But I'm not a sniper. I'm not a Delta Force guy. I'm not a Navy SEAL. But I've shot hundreds of wild hogs, hundreds of deer. Been hunting. First deer I shot was when I was 6 years old. And I know that I've shot a lot of stuff with .30-06, 300 Wet mags, you name it. These are high-power rifle rounds that come out over 2,000 feet per second. 200 yards, probably going 1,800 feet per second. It doesn't bounce off things. It goes right through things. And if it hits just flesh or even gelatin in those tests they do in shooting or a wet phone book, it opens up in flesh like this. And if it hits a bone, it explodes and pieces go everywhere. So the idea, it's even more insane, because I got part of it right, that they say it didn't go through the neck. That's official. I've now read the statement, not just the press reports. I got it wrong. So I had that part wrong. But I got it right that it went.
Dog, you didn't even get the press reports that were wrong. You got the immediate tweet that you were quote retweeting wrong. Because the immediate tweet that you were quote retweeting literally said that the bullet was recovered just off the neck, and it just only pierced the skin. The bullet was just beneath the skin.
in and didn't go out the back, they're claiming from the coroner, according to the TPUSA spokesperson that talked to the coroner, and that it was found under the skin. That was a BB gun or something. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, you can shoot an old refrigerator or an old truck or whatever with a 30-06, and it'll shoot through usually both sides of the doors, right through the whole truck. I mean, wow. Anybody that's been a shooter knows that. So I'm not some ballistics expert, none of that stuff. But I've shot elk at 500 yards and the bullet goes all the way through. Very rarely does a high-powered rifle not go through. And a small hole on one side and a huge 4-inch hole in the other. So, and if it hits a bone, it just explodes. And I've butchered deer, you name it. You see where it hits a bone, it just goes everywhere, and there's pieces of bullet everywhere. And it still blows out the other side, pieces of it. So I'm not saying TPUSA is bad. They're not the coroner. I'm just saying what this coroner is saying, that a 30-06 bullet goes in. That's even more insane. Didn't find the bullet. I was wrong about that. No, right under the surface. It just, man of steel, you know, titanium neck, all of this.
I guess technically they didn't say which skin they found the bullet in. You know what I mean? Like, they implied that it was like right at the skin of his neck, but maybe they found it in another part of his body just beneath the skin. Who knows? It bounced around.
No, I know Trantifa's out there. I know they're attacking. I know the left, the Podesta plan wants all this terror. But I saw no evidence of Israel involved still happening.
I know Trantifa's out there. It's still Trantifa, but it's also maybe Israel. I got a new theory. Israel is working alongside Trantifa.
Any of this, but I am seeing this now. This is crazy. So I'm going to call Andrew and talk to him, and I'll give you an update on that. And it's just what he's being told, so don't blame him. But this is crazy, absolutely crazy. I'll give you updates as it unfolds. Even crazier than not finding the bullet.
Did he unironically say Trantifa? No, that is the meta now. I need you to understand that is a thing that they believe is happening. Okay, they think it's not enough that we got Antifa, but they're also transgender. Okay, that is low key what this admin is pushing for. That is the new meta from this admin, and that is, of course, the new meta not only from this admin but also all of the loyal servants, the propagandists, the mouthpieces for the administration, Alex Jones and everyone else alike.
Is that it was there intact? Like on the stretcher when Kennedy got shot, the magic bullet. No. If it hit a bone, like they say, and bounced off, it would have shattered and not been some hole in the front. It would have been a huge, when it shattered, completely gone out. Tell me if I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I don't see how I'm wrong.
Anyway, so just the reason why I started off with this is because, and before people go, why are you, because I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat go, why are you bringing this up? Who cares about the bullet or whatever? Well, one, it's relevant to figuring out exactly what took place. Obviously, it's relevant to the investigation. It's relevant to the official narrative. But it's also something that right-wingers will absolutely care about. Do you see what I mean? It's absolutely something that right-wingers find to be very relevant and very important, specifically because they know about this stuff a lot better than people on the left do. Sure, people on the left like their guns too. Liberals like their guns too. But like, the right does have kind of a monopoly status on gun tuber shit, right? So you got a lot of people who are hearing this official narrative come out and going, it ain't for me. That's not. I can totally see a lot of gun tubers and a lot of right wingers, like gun guys, looking at this stuff and being like, this actually made me even more suspicious than I was before. I know that, I guess, like, especially among Christians, like this whole Charlie was an exceptional human being and therefore his neck bones were like way stronger than the average person's or whatever. It might be able to convince some people, but I think all the gun sexuals are going to look at that and go, there is no way. Especially because they do have a proclivity towards conspiratorial narratives anyway. Like a grand narrative is something that these guys do like. So I can see that. I can see a lot of like ex-military guys and a lot of ammosexuals, gun sexuals looking at this and being like, nope. Here's what a 30-06 does to a ballistic shell head, by the way.
So today on Dual Liberty Firearms, we're going to be showing you what a 30-06.
Yeah, look, a lot of guys that make videos like this are going to be like, nope. That is one of the most insane things, dude. Like, that is, can we even, dude, it turns into mist, brother. It turns into mist. Now, I don't know what the range is here. No, they didn't blur it. It's not that it's blurred. It's that it blows up so hard that it splashes on the fucking cameras. Yeah, look, see? Gun tubers are testing out the ballistic theories, which again, this isn't even a gel, so this one kind of sucks. I'm gonna be honest. The ballistic gel ones are my favorite, like on the live fire demonstrations. Also, this is a child. That's crazy. Why do you have a child doll that you can shoot at any given moment? That's odd. Yeah, if you don't have a ballistic gel dummy, I don't want to see it. Those things are like $3,000, but you will absolutely get that back on the AdSense. Okay. I guess this is the IDF training facility that they're shooting this video at. Bro. This is the IDF training facility, bro. That's gotta be it, mate. Hello, I am from Israel. I love guns. This is my gun tuber show. Of course, we do not have adult targets. We only have the child Hamas terrorist target. I am a gun tuber from Israel, and this is my art. But yeah, bro, look, that's what a 30-06 does to a brain, okay, to a head. Why aren't they arresting this person? He's definitely too sick to have guns. Chatter, what are you talking about? If they were to stop people who are sick in the head from owning guns, that would eradicate like most of the people that own guns. This is America, goddammit. If your head is made of jello, dog, what are you talking about? This is a literal $5,000 incredibly realistic ballistic gel head. Your head is literally made of the components that this is made of. You understand? The entire purpose of this is to test out what it looks like. This shit's like $5,000, brother. This is a 1-to-1 to a real human head. Okay? It is to replicate what would happen with you know, different types of bullets. Like, it's for this purpose. I know how expensive it is because I wanted to get one to do the whole like will it cut, will it kill thing after I blacksmithed my I did the blacksmith thing. That's why I know how expensive it is. It's expensive as fuck. Yeah, even medical experts use it so they understand. Should I have knowledge of one of these? If you watch like I mean, this is, people use this for forensics, people use it on TV shows and stuff, but this is a 1-to-1 comparison to a human body, a human mind. So yes, you are jello technically. You are more jello than man, or you are a man made of jello. If you didn't know that, it's just kind of held together, okay? And if you are Christian, you become clothes, as we know, as we learned yesterday from Left Behind. Anyway, FBI Director Kash Patel has also seen your concerns. He's heard your concerns. As the director of the FBI, I am committed to ensuring the investigation into Charlie Kirk's assassination is thorough and exhaustive, pursuing every lead to its conclusion. The full weight of America's law enforcement agencies are actively following the evidence that has emerged, but our efforts extend beyond the initial findings. We are examining every facet of this assassination. We are meticulously investigating theories and questions, including the location from where the shot was taken, the possibility of accomplices, the text message confession, and related conversations, Discord chats, the angle of the shot and the bullet impact, how the weapon was transported, hand gestures observed as potential signals near Charlie at the time of his assassination. This is a implication that his security team might have been on it. That is a crazy thing for the FBI director to lean into, by the way. Oh my God. Oh my God. Podcast administration. I can't believe it. This guy never stops posting. He doesn't realize that when you are not a fucking podcaster, but instead the director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, you have additional obligations. When you actually come out and state that you were actually there at the scene of the crime immediately and that you were actually there gathering intelligence and whatever, like Kash Patel did on Fox News, he doesn't realize that that actually taints the investigation, and a competent defense attorney could basically strike some of that evidence that they compiled from the court case. The way they can do that is because you have admitted that you are a biased investigator. You are supposed to either recuse yourself or not talk about your personal relationship with the fucking victim. Okay? I need you guys to understand. I know that a court system is like kind of cooked, but they did this with Luigi as well. Okay? There was a tremendous amount of influencing that took place prior to the actual court case. You can't do that. I don't know why these fucking morons keep doing stuff like this. They just keep getting ahead of themselves, okay? You cannot taint the jury pool by demonstrating your bias ahead of time in the way that they did in the Luigi Mangione case, and that's part of the reason why I think like the defense team for Luigi Mangione is able to like strike some of the charges like they did with the terrorism charge. Like I don't think that it'll be a mistrial, even though if it wasn't such a high profile case, it probably could be a mistrial. You could probably push for that. Obviously, Luigi Mangione, it's not going to fucking happen. But even then, Kash Patel coming out and being like, the victim was my personal best friend, and I was there touching the evidence. When you say that, any competent defense team is going to look at that and be like, do you hear this? Your Honor. The official investigator at the scene of the crime has admitted that he is personally a close friend to the victim. How could you possibly use this as evidence? How am I supposed to assume that this is a fair investigation done by competent people? And he hasn't stopped. He has not stopped. He has to be the main guy involved in this because I feel like he senses that his job is on the line now. He feels a sense of imminent threat coming from a lot of right-wingers because these guys don't actually care about doing a meticulous investigation, but instead they care more about ass covering. Instead, this is like the most podcast adjacent administration. So he's basically behaving like a fucking podcaster, not realizing that you're not a podcaster. You're the director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, my man. So he's still doing this shit. He's like, oh, we're looking at all of the angles, hand gestures observed as potential signals near Charlie at the time of the assassination and visitors of the alleged shooter's residence in the hours and days leading up to September 10th, 2025. Some details are known today, while others are still being pursued to ensure every possibility is considered. Our primary focus is to complete the investigation and deliver justice to protect the integrity of the investigation and subsequent prosecution. We cannot release every piece of information we have to the public right now. We will ensure every question is addressed at the appropriate moment. Regarding specific details such as questions about the plane that allegedly turned off his transponder after departing from an airport near the assassination site, we can share updates when the answers are confirmed. After interviews with the pilot in consultation with the FAA, we determined that the transponder was not turned off. Incomplete flight data in rural areas caused the apparent gap. I called this, by the way. I do believe this part. The entire FBI mourns the loss of Charlie Kirk. We will not rest until justice is served, and our investigation into this assassination will continue until every question is answered. I have a lot of plane autists that I went to when I heard the private jet thing, and they told me, including Austin and numerous other plane autists that I went to, that said the ADB thing is like there is dead zones all around rural parts of the country, and that the flight radar is always incomplete regardless. So I will say though, if you actually cared about Charlie Kirk, if you truly were like saddened by Charlie Kirk's untimely demise, you would do everything in your power to shut the fuck up and do a competent investigation. But instead, everyone is chirping. Instead, everyone is just like constantly talking. They can't stop. This is the only thing they know how to do. And it turns out the best possible thing you could have expected in this moment was having a bunch of right-wingers who are also closely associated with Charlie Kirk come out and be first to market and start hammering conspiracy narratives that actually ruined the messaging discipline that was supposed to come from the administration. This was supposed to be the Trantifa assassination, But Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson and numerous other right-wingers had different plans. They immediately ran with the Israel did this 100p. It was definitely Israel narratives, and it totally cooked, totally botched the singular message